the president believes many Americans stand to benefit from his tariff plan. He tweeted, "Tariffs will bring in far more wealth to our country than even a phenomenal deal of the traditional kind. Also much easier and quicker to do. Our farmers will do better, faster, and starving nations can now be helped." Bill Gordon is the vice president of the American Soybean Association. As always, it's good to have you with us. You're for joining us from Worthington, Minnesota. You don't want a traditional deal where the Chinese just agree to buy a few $billion worth more of your product. But at the same time, you're going to be hit hardest by these increased tariffs. What do you do?
That's correct. We want that trade deal back. You know, we took 40 years to build this market up, and we were talking amongst ourselves this morning. A lot of my colleagues spent their entire adult life with this deal and making this deal happen. And with these tariffs, it looks like it's going to extend into the future so far that they might not be able to see the market come back.
What do you do in this situation? Because the increased tariffs, I mean, I know the US government, the administration, put aside 12 billion or whatever it was to help farmers, but that's long since gone, that money, and you're going to need more. But what do you actually do? Are you seeing a downturn in business from China?
Well, absolutely. We've lost a lot of our trade. They've bought, hardly any soybeans, and even the 20 million metric tons that they promised to buy, they've actually only purchased and had 5 million of it delivered. So even though the promise is there, we have this glut of soybeans that we were used to shipping out there. So what we've done is we've actually kept expanding markets to other places. We filled in those markets in the European Union, Southeast Asia, and different places, Indonesia, for instance. Those people are taking, they're just not as large of a market. So it's a lot harder to get rid of those soybeans that we were used to shipping to China.
And because of that, what's happening to prices of soybeans? I mean, at the end of the day, you're still growing the stuff, and it still has to be sold, somewhere harvested and sold. So what's happening to your markets and your members?
Well, the markets are definitely down, and they're down for many reasons. And we did a really good job of raising a soybean crop last year in this country, which added extra product to the world market. And then Argentina and Brazil did the same thing, and that added definitely some stress to the economics of everything. But these markets are really low, as much as $1 to $2 below the cost of production. So meaning, in the day when I get these soybeans planted in this wet weather here in Minnesota, I'm already guaranteed loss of a profit or loss of income at all. So I'd have to come up more money at the end of the year just to raise soybeans. So like you said, we're going to raise them because we have to raise something. And so you're trying to minimize loss, but you're moving to different commodities and different things like that.
So the president basically said to the farmers today, look, I understand what you're saying, but keep quiet. Let me get on with it. In the longer run, you're going to be better off with a proper deal. Do you accept that? And I mean, why would farmers continue to support an administration that has introduced policies that has decimated their business?
Well, it's a good question. And the problem with the deal being great at the end is, will we make it? Wisconsin, for instance, are losing 8 farmers a day. You have family farmers and family farms, people my age and older people retiring, and banks not giving us loans. Even though the deal might be good at the end, who's going to be left? That is the question. And you roll over to government in general. We have a trade deal with Canada and Mexico that could be ratified right now by the Democrat controlled legislature, and they won't do it because of politics. So it's a double-edged sword here. We have an administration that's trying to get a great deal at the end, and yes, it's nice to talk about payments and different things, but that's not what we do. We raise food and we raise products for the world and for the country, and we want to sell those products in the open market.